Benny dreams of the spirit of Babe Ruth, who advises him to rescue the ball himself. Heroes get remembered, says the Babe, but legends never die. Follow your heart, kid, and you'll never go wrong.
I love and hate this part at the same time.
Yeah, so Babe Ruth tells a kid to run into a backyard to basically get mauled by Cujo.
Lights, camera, and action.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast.
Remember those childhood movies you loved? We're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Let's get ready to join Anna and Jimmy as they go back and watch those movies you remember being oh so awesomely good. Horror movies that scared. Comedy movies that dared. And action movies so preposterously ludicrous that they defied the laws of common sense. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. This is our first drive-in double feature of August or summer of 2024. If you're listening to this, I guess if it's on YouTube, it'll be both in a row. But if you're listening to it on podcast, it'll be split up into two. So we're going back to the 90s. We have been in the 90s for a while now, but that's all right. Love the 90s.
It's a wealth of movies for us. It's not our fault. It's the 90s fault. It's all because of the 90s.
And we're going back to 1993 to, well, today we preview The Sandlot.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot about The Sandlot. I think I watched it a couple times or maybe even once, but it was around that time when I wasn't a little kid anymore. I was a teenager now, and I'm like, that's stupid. But I remember liking it when I watched it, but I never went back to it. So
yeah, kind of the same. I think I watched it a few times in like the 90s, and then once in the 2000s as like The Sandlot. Ask me what the fuck happens. I know kids are playing baseball.
Yeah, I know it takes place in the 60s. The director, writer, this is about his childhood. Yeah.
Pretty sure a ball goes over a fence.
The big dog, right? Yeah, I remember that part.
There's a dog. I don't remember how this movie starts. I don't remember how it ends. I don't remember most of like I do remember I had the biggest crush on Mike Vitar because when this came out, I was 13. He was cute. It was adorable. It makes sense. But yeah, no, it's one of, and I remember liking it. I just don't remember much about it.
And in the 80s and 90s, early 90s, I guess, there was a lot of coming of age movies. There was, Stand By Me probably for me was probably the biggest one. But there were a lot more.
Coming of age in sports or with sports.
Yeah.
The Mighty Ducks were very big around there. Like the first one came out just before The Sandlot and the second one came out afterwards. I literally just blanked. I was like, I had another like 3.
There's a couple that take place like in the 40s and 50s. I'm drawing a blank onto, but yeah, it was a common.
But there was a lot of like, we play on a team, or this is how me and my friends interact. It's through sport. And now we're going to learn life lessons.
Yeah. So I believe this one is a little different than our visit to Camp Nowhere, where Camp Nowhere was very much kid oriented. This one's more, I think, family oriented, kid and family oriented.
Yeah, I think this is one where they made it so that the adults could watch too.
Yeah.
Where they weren't just focused on the kid audience.
Right. Well, let's go. Oh, I forgot. Wait. Take that off here. Watch.
What?
All right. Let's go to the box office. Ooh.
Animation.
Actually, I got a couple. And then one that was totally messed up, so we don't get to use that one.
Okay.
Anyway, just the box office for The Sandlot. It had a budget of $7 million. It had a domestic total of 32.9 and then an international of 1.3. So it made about 34.3 million
Yeah, that
dollars.
makes sense.
Not a ton of money, but not a failure. I'm sure they were happy.
Honestly, for the 90s, a non-animated younger movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this was
This is
also the
impressive.
decade of Aladdin and The Little
Yeah.
Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. And so
Disney
was
had a
huge.
chokehold. Disney Animation had a chokehold
Yeah.
on the market for movies. So
Now, of note, it opened at a distant second place behind Indecent Proposal. I remember that movie. While staying in second place the following weekend, it was able to remain in the top 10 for 6 weeks. And although it only made $32 million in theaters, well above its budget, its VHS and DVD sales are estimated to be over $76 million.
Jesus.
And since its release on both VHS and DVD, it became a cult favorite.
Mhm.
And I just watched a YouTube video where just recently they had the cast of The Sandlot and they were doing interviews with them. But what was funny about it was they had all these Major League Baseball superstars
Yeah.
because they were kids in the 90s and they were talking about how much they loved The Sandlot. It was kind of cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and how much the movie influenced them to want to. Well, they like baseball, but it just helped them want to
Yeah.
be more. Yeah. Okay, so let's get rid of view. Oh, and then this we got. Let's go to the tail of the tape. Ooh. For those listening, those are animations for our YouTube broadcast. We record our broadcast live on YouTube
Yes.
on Friday nights at 7:00. All right. So let's go to the tail of the tape. 1993.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't put the month. I think it was May. Pretty sure it was May. It is considered a kids and family / comedy / drama. Is
A
rated
lot of
P.
slashes.
Yeah. Rated PG and comes in at 1 hour and 41 minutes.
Respectable length. Also, it came out in April of 1993.
April in 1993. Which is perfect for baseball.
Mhm.
All right. Taglines. The adventure of a lifetime, the summer of their dreams, the dog of their nightmares.
I mean, not bad. Feels like a good summary.
No uniforms, no problem, no girls, no problem, no ball, big problem.
That's cute. It aims younger though.
Yes. They're more than a team. They're the best buddies in the entire history of the world.
No, that's stupid.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either. A piece of paradise, a half block wide and a whole summer long.
Feels clunky.
That was it. The first two were pretty good.
Yeah.
Synopsis. When Scotty Smalls, Thomas Gurry, moves to a new neighborhood, he manages to make friends with a group of kids who play baseball at the Sandlot. Together, they go on a series of funny and touching adventures. The boys run into trouble when Smalls borrows a ball from his stepdad that gets hit over the fence. And thus, that is the dog, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the kid on the left here, the bigger kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be politically correct. The fat kid. He looks almost the exact same.
He does. Although, didn't he lose a bunch of weight recently?
Oh, yeah. I just meant his face and his hair
No, his
look
face
identical.
is identical.
Yeah.
It's creepy, actually.
Like you would not be like he was what, 12 there? 13, 14,
Probably,
maybe?
yeah.
Yeah. 93. So
But yeah, his face looks exactly the same.
yeah. And here is the poster reveal. For those listening, it's the Sandlot on up top. They're more than a team. They're the best buddies in the world, in the history of the world, is the tagline. And that just has the kids at the home plate, the fence behind them. It's an all right poster
with their hands on the bat,
with their hands on the
as
bat.
you
Yeah.
do when you're deciding who gets to decide who pitches first.
Yeah. Or go over the fence first. All right. Now, this is the animation's ruined for this one. So no animation for this one. Let's go to
one day.
Rotten Tomatoes. 62 critics reviews, comes in at 65%, which is
Harsh.
not bad. Oh, okay.
It feels harsh.
It feel for a kids movie, yeah. When you get low on it, it's always harsh. 250,000 plus audience comes in at 89%. So this is definitely a fan.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's a fan for that many people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That just tells you that's where $76 million came from.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, everyone, kids must have loved this movie. Critic consensus. It may be shamelessly derivative and overly nostalgic, but The Sandlot is nevertheless... Oh, come on. Oh. All right, I'll start this one over. It may be shamelessly derivative and overly nostalgic, but The Sandlot is nevertheless a genuinely sweet and funny coming-of-age adventure.
I have high hopes so far.
All right, you may start with the positive.
At the very least, it serves as a reminder to always have a spare baseball handy anytime you go out to play in the park, in case it gets taken by an absurdly enormous dog over the fence. Chase Hutchinson, Collider, original score B+. I mean, solid advice.
Yeah, it's not bad advice. The Sandlot is a classic because so much of the film focuses on time spent off the field. It's not a movie about baseball players. It's a movie about kids who happen to play baseball. Chris, the nerd plant. Polygon, original score not available. His name isn't actually Chris, the nerd plant, but...
No, because he's not a nerd.
Okay. Go outside, nerd. Play some baseball, nerd. Go ahead.
Utilizes effective editing, appropriately juvenile dialogue, and laugh out loud humor while capturing adolescent adventure with a genuine sense of innocence and nostalgia. Mike Massey, Gone with the Twins, original score 9 out of 10. Damn, Mike.
You liked it.
I'm feeling the love.
The Sandlot is scene after scene after scene of nostalgia glasses viewed perfection. Scott Beggs, Film School Rejects, original score not available.
Wow. The Sandlot almost does for baseball what A Christmas Story does for the holiday season. Evans clearly can still feel what it was like to be a kid, and his silly impetuousness gives his film its charm. Michael Johnson, Hartford Courant, original score not available.
For kids of the 1990s, there is no greater baseball movie than this coming-of-age tale about a lonely fifth grader who makes lifelong friends by playing neighborhood baseball games. Phil Villarreal,
sure.
Coed.com. Original score, 4 out of 4.
Damn. This is a movie that allows its kids to be kids, that shows them in the insular world of imagination and dreaming that children create entirely apart from adult domains and values. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times, original score, 3 out of 4. This is a lot of very positive, like.
Yeah. But now we get to the rotten.
Oh, okay.
And what I have found, either people seem to love this movie,
yeah,
or hated this movie.
Oh.
Here's another 90s movie that was beloved by boys, yet it probably won't hold the same charge for viewers not privy to the nostalgic vibe. Matt Brunson, Phil Fremsey, original score, 2.5 out of 4. Yes, that's how nostalgic works. If you're from that.
Yeah, but I also get nostalgic for decades I was not alive in.
Actually, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, Matt Brunson's an idiot.
I'm not saying it.
I am. Stupid Matt Brunson.
I'm not going to disagree. Rarely has 101 minutes seemed longer. Sky Staff, Sky Cinema, original score, 1 out of 5.
Ooh.
Damn.
1 out of 5. Ouch. In the Sandlot's nostalgia for simpler times, a single-sex world seems to be a key component. David Kerr, Chicago Tribune, original score 204. Okay, David Kerr. I got mad when I first read this one because
Yeah.
when you're in grade 5, 6, 7, 8, I remember going out all the time, and I'm from small town.
Mm.
I don't remember ever hanging out with girls from school. It was always the guys from school. I had no fucking idea what girls were doing during the summer in grade 5, 6, and 7. Like we hung out and did stupid boy shit.
We hung out with the guys, but we were also playing baseball, playing soccer, like running around and like hanging out, just hanging out. So I'm like, we did have, but I did spend most of my time with the girls.
Yes, if we went to like a community thing or where there was like at the baseball diamond, yes, there
Yeah.
was interaction. But I mean, like just on your
No, I went over to my friend's house and we hung
exactly,
out, just me and
yeah.
her. Or she came over to my house.
So shut up, Dave Kerr.
Yeah, Dave. The kids even have their own treehouse, which means that the production designer is the only person connected with this project who actually went out on a limb. Peter Rayner, Los Angeles Times, original score not available. Hey, Peter, it's okay. Not every movie has to be revolutionary.
No. You feel as if you're being smothered in cotton candy by a director obsessed with the infantility and who cannot bear to face the reality of childhood. Stephen Hunter, Baltimore Sun, original score 2 out of 4.
Who hurt you, Stephen?
And who knows, we might come back and agree with these people.
I mean, very possible, but it sounds very like, wow. It's just so, anyways. The Sandlot is a safe, wholesome, patriotic family picture about baseball. And if there is an original scene, it escaped my attention. Peter Rayner, Los Angeles Times, original score 2 out of 4.
For every field of dreams, there are a dozen lesser, completely incomprehensible baseball movies. This is one of them. Emma Cochran, Empire Magazine, original score 2 out of 5. As much as I don't agree with them, because I remember liking this movie, and I think they're just being
I
just,
remember liking this
just
movie
mean,
too.
but they're funny reviews. I will
Very
give
well
them that.
written, yeah. It's messages of anti-bullying, befriending losers, and pretending the fat kid stuffing ho-hos into his mouth doesn't make you sick are as timeless as they are trite. Walter Chow, Film Freak Central, original score 1 out of 4.
Wow. This isn't even IMDb. These are actual critics.
Look, I'm not going to talk about nobody stuffing ho-hos into their mouth. Okay, it's not my jam. I don't care what you stuff into your mouth. That's your business. But why you gotta call them out like that? Why you gotta do that?
All right, let's go to IMDb. The voice of reason. 104,000 plus user ratings, comes in at 7.8. So
That's
kinda,
pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of dicks on IMDb.
Really, there are. There are.
They're funny, but they're dicks. You may start.
Okay. Deserves its status as a cult classic. 10 out of 10. Tiffany says, stay in your lane. Thanks, Tiffany.
I grew up with gorgeous summers and this movie. 9 out of 10. Stefan Decker. Stefan. Makes me want to beat him up. I grew up with gorgeous summers running from people who want to beat me up because of my name. Come here, Stefan.
Jesus. One of the greatest childhood films ever. 8 out of 10. Quinoa, 1984.
Stand By Me, toned down, made optimistic and family friendly. 7 out of 10. Part-time critic. There was a lot of comparisons to Stand By Me.
Well,
That's
yeah.
a little unfair. One is a 60s child-friendly, kid-friendly, family-friendly. Stand By Me was written by Stephen King. I mean, you can't really compare the two.
These are two very different movies.
Yeah.
So it feels like a disservice to both of them to compare.
Yeah. I do love Stand By Me.
Honestly, it has been so long since I've
It's been a
watched it,
while.
and I remember loving it, but it's also been a long time.
Yeah. And for people listening, that is one of the movies in our drive-ins. I
Yep.
think it's not for a few yet, but sometime in August here. Did I read that or did you read that?
I think you
I
read
I
that.
did.
Yeah,
I did,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
For baseball fans and dog lovers of all ages, 6 out of 10. D-Day, 65.
If you think The Sandlot is good, go watch the far superior Stand By Me. 5 out of 10. P. James, 10.
Different movies.
Yeah.
It needs some help. It's not good. 4 out of 10. Love and Tennis.
Now it does have, for those listening, there's a 1-star asterisk beside it. That means this was the only 4 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
There were no others. Disappointment of Herculean proportions. 3 out of 10. Live and Let Live.
Great if you are the intended audience. 2 out of 10. Rebel Jen.
And
At least Jen gets it.
2 was because there was only 2 to choose from. There was only 2 there. Usually there's at least 15 to 100.
Wow.
And again, there was only 2 to choose from. Am I missing something? 1 out of 10. W. Steinhauer. He's German. So yeah, wasn't.
Yeah, you're missing something.
Yeah, one of the characters was probably Jewish. Gave it 1 star. Germans.
Dude!
Steinhauer.
Just because someone's German doesn't automatically make them a Nazi.
That's kind of true, I guess. Sorry, Germans. All right. How do I get this off? Okay. We looked at reviews. We went through the tail of the tape. We took a look at the box office. Let us watch. Sorry, I had to turn the thing down. Let us watch a trailer for The Sandlot, and then let's make our prediction.
I'm ready.
I want you to make some friends.
Why is that not?
I don't know.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
I got time.
Da, 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 da.
I want you to make some friends this summer.
Meet Scotty Smalls.
Kale, get it! The kid is a L7 winning. My life is over.
Man, this is baseball. You gotta stop thinking. Just have fun.
Climb trees, hop fences, get into trouble.
Just stand there and stick your glove out in the air. I'll take care of it.
Now he's in.
Yeah! All right!
With the coolest guys in the neighborhood. They've got the look.
Wendy Peppercorn. Wow. Hey, girls.
They've got the moves. They've got the rap.
Blockhead. Geek. Jerk. Idiot. Moron. You bob for apples in the toilet. And you like it. You play ball like a girl.
But something else has got their ball.
That wasn't my ball.
Dad's father gave it to him. Babe Ruth signed that ball.
Babe Ruth! We gotta get that ball back.
Got any bright ideas?
Initiate retrieval section number 1. Power connect. Come on, help me. It's heavy. Now. Fire! Fire! We gotta Mommy, look, a doggy. Ooh, a big doggy.
20th Century Fox presents
Hey guys, it's the Sandlot baby.
You're the ones that making all that racket.
a lifetime of adventure.
Come on, Squid, you can do it. Pull through, bud. You little pervert.
The Sandlot, a little piece of paradise, a half a block wide and a whole season long.
Scotty, have you made any friends yet?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom.
All right. What's your prediction?
God, I hope I'm gonna like it. I think I'll like it. I think it'll be very nostalgic. And I think that's what's gonna carry me through. I also think I'm probably gonna feel like it's a little too sweet for my own liking.
Like the cotton candy comment?
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
that. Like I have a feeling it's gonna be very schmaltzy. And I'm okay with that. I like a good movie with schmaltz. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it looks all right, but you're right. It kind of does. It's really skewering the kid, more kid than family.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is all right. If it's doesn't
I
mean it's
mean
gonna be horrible.
it's fine, but also the actress that plays Wendy in The Sandlot is in one of my favorite movies of all time, Bubble Boy. And
Oh, Bubble Boy. This movie's so dumb.
I love it so much.
Oh, it's funny, but yeah.
Yeah, she's also in Scream and like the 2022 one where they refused to call it Scream 4 because they're assholes. But anyways, she's in it, but I saw her face and I was like, that girl has barely aged. She looks almost identical now as she
Yeah.
did in 1993. Good on ya, Marley Shelton. That's her name. Good on ya. But yeah, I think I'm gonna like this movie, but I think I'm probably gonna roll my eyes a couple times at how like saccharine it is.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, well, we are going to go watch The Sandlot, and when we come back, we are going to review it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Yay!
Woo!
Welcome back, everyone. Did you watch 1993's The Sandlot?
I did.
Your initial thoughts?
It is super sweet, very nostalgic, and definitely aimed. I don't know who I think it's supposed to be aimed at kids, and there's a lot of kid-friendly stuff, but it definitely feels like almost like a conversation being had with adults. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was good. It was good. What are your thoughts?
There was a lot of cotton candy in this movie.
Yeah.
I watched it with my kids, a bunch of my kids, and when they laughed at a lot of the silly parts, it automatically made the movie better. Like, especially the 6-year-old. She laughed hard during fake drowning in the kiss. She thought that was hilarious. Anything to do with the beast. So I agree with a lot of the comparisons. This is not Stand By Me, but I wasn't expecting that. It was fine. It's a family movie, but it did skewer towards the silly. But that voiceover part did lend itself to the telling of a story, or like you said, the conversation with adults.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, let's go over this movie. Wikipedia seemed to be very thorough with this movie. Like, it might be the most detailed movie I've seen on Wikipedia.
Some Sandlot super fan was like, we are putting everything in.
I'm like, this is a 1993 kids movie. Yeah, this is a super fan. Yeah, that went through this because I haven't seen this much.
That's impressive.
Yeah. All right. So, in the late spring of 1962, fifth grader Scott Smalls moved to the San Fernando Valley, right outside of Los Angeles, with his widowed mother and recent stepfather, Bill. As school ends and summer begins, Small's mother encourages him to make friends, and he tries to join a group of boys to play baseball daily at the neighborhood Sandlot. Brothers Timmy and Tommy Timmons, Michael Squints Palladorus, Alan Yaya McLennan, Bertram Grover Weeks, and pitcher Kenny Denunez, catcher Hamilton Ham Porter, and their leader, of course, and best player Benny Rodriguez. So back in the day, even in the 80s and 90s, parents would look at the clock in the kitchen, usually around sometime just after breakfast, and declare it was time for kids to get the fuck out. Seriously, rain, snow, sun, it didn't matter. And we didn't get sunscreen.
Oh, no.
No, not like these namby-pamby
There was no
panty-waist mama's
sunscreen.
boys.
There was no packaged lunch or bottles of water.
No.
No. You were sent out into the wild and you drank from the hose. And I know it's such a cliche now because like every Gen Xer is like, we drink from the hose. Like it's a badge of
remember
honor.
drinking from the hose.
I still drink from the hose, okay? Because when I'm outside and I'm cleaning something,
Hey,
it's a
I'll go
lot
outside.
easier.
We were out kind of doing that with the kids, and they were like, "Oh, I'm thirsty. It's hot. It's hot. I'm here. Well, there's the hose. I was using the hose." And they looked at me like, "Are you out of your mind?"
Well, because everything's fucking filtered now, and you're like, it's fine. Just drink it.
Yeah, it tastes a little off, but
it tastes different. It's still fine. It's because it's going through a rubber hose. But anyways, that's not the point.
No.
A lot when we were younger, and it's probably from the 50s, 40s. You went outside.
Yeah,
and you gathered with whatever children were out there, and you played whatever was being played.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah, and the sunscreen thing. I was trying to remember. I'm like, we got sunscreen if we went to the beach. Apparently, the sun was much more dangerous at the beach.
Well, that's because you're actually.
Well, yeah, you got your shoulders and your back, and
like the parts that don't see the sun normally are seeing the sun at the beach.
But
when you're outside, it's
getting really burnt just from spending the day outside. Maybe I did. I don't know.
I never did.
No,
but I never used to burn very easily. I just turn a lovely tan color.
Oh, lucky you.
I know, it's really nice. Now I'm burning more. I think my skin has just gotten more sensitive as I've gotten older. But I'm also a definite sunscreen user, FYI. I've become that person.
Yep. Not me, man. Laugh basic cancer. Till I get it. I'm gonna cry. And then like Smalls tries to get his stepdad to teach him how to catch. In the 60s, that kid was lucky. The father even knew his name. Like dad was progressive, making eye contact with talking to him, and he's not even beating him.
That was his stepfather, which was hilarious with the dad, Bill, dad.
Yeah.
Also, it was Dennis Leary.
Whoever
And I
you
was like,
are.
I forgot that he was in this movie. I was like, oh, hey, Dennis, how you doing?
I forgot. I saw in the preview when we watched that. I forgot Karen Allen was the mom.
Yeah. Which, let me tell you, I was sitting there going, you're kind of a shitty mom. Like, your husband did nothing to bond with your son.
No.
At all. And you're just let's all live in a house together. It'll be great. Ask him to teach you to play catch. Poor kid's never fucking thrown a ball, never caught a ball, nothing. I was like, you were failing as a mother. Do you not know how to throw a ball? You can't do that with your kid?
Well,
anyways,
it's a different time, I think.
My mother threw balls with me, okay? We played catch all the time.
You were in the 60s and you're an immigrant, so, it's weird.
I was not the immigrant. I'm just the child of immigrants.
No, I thought the dad was pretty progressive. I wish my dad was that warm and loving. Everyone
Dad was a dick.
Everyone but Benny laughs at Small's lack of ability, and in an attempt to play catch with his stepdad, I gotta have myself here. Bill injures Smalls and leaves him with a black eye. That's funny.
That was funny.
But the dad was totally annoyed at how shitty this kid was at sports.
Right? Like, it was not even like, and it was a great kind of juxtaposition because like you have Benny who's all like, guys, stop laughing. Let's teach him. It'll be great, whatever. And then you
Yeah.
got the dad who's just like,
oh my
I mean,
God,
you
this
caught the
fucking kid.
ball. It hit you in the eye, but you caught it.
Yeah.
Good for you. And he's
I
just
got-
like, put some ice on it for an hour.
Yeah. I got this
No, I'm
hot piece
sorry.
of ass, but her kid, my God. Can't even fucking catch a ball. Nevertheless, Benny invites him onto the team and helps him improve his skills and earn the boys' respect. When De Nunez taunts Ham with his trademark pitch, the heater, Ham hits a home run into an adjacent backyard, and the team is dismayed. However, they stop Smalls from retrieving the ball and tell him of the Beast, a legendary fearsome English Mastiff living behind the fence. According to Squints, in 1942, Mr. Myrtle, the owner of the property, bought a young dog, and it grew increasingly big and vicious until Squint's grandfather, who was chief of police at the time, presented Mr. Myrtle with a court order to keep the Beast chained up. In the years since, many baseballs have gone over the fence, but everyone has been claimed by the Beast. This was a silly little...
That story reenactment was great.
Yeah, the black and white. And
yeah, black and white. And then there's like the dog and the sheriffs and the wording. It's like, oh God, what was that show? It was History.
Drunk History?
Drunk History, yes. Where they have the reenactments, but it's playing out to like the telling of, and all my favorite part is when the sheriff is like, forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Just kept repeating it like the kid.
Like it was an echo. It was amazing.
And this was like this was really, the movie was really getting into kids, which is fine. It's just, it wasn't family like I was expecting, like say Goonies, Princess Bride, Jumanji, E.T., Willow. This is more Little Rascals, Harriet the Spy, Casper, Dennis the Menace, Beethoven, which again is fine. But again, it was I think it was much better watching with kids. Like when we watched Ernest Saves Christmas,
yeah,
we both agreed that it's way better to have kids around to watch Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think most kids would get it, but I think it depends on, because I don't know how many kids are going to be like, why didn't they just like knock on the door, get their mom to do it, or like, and you're like, buddy, the parents weren't around.
No,
nobody had a cell phone to like text their mom and be like, hey, can you get me another pack of balls?
Yeah, your mom's not going to go all the way across town just to go grab a ball for you. Jesus. One particularly hot day, the team opts to go swimming at the neighborhood pool in lieu of baseball. While there, Squint fakes drowning to receive mouth-to-mouth resuscitation from lifeguard Wendy Peppercorn. Okay, the ass shot threw me off when she was walking by. I'm like, how old is this girl? Should I be watching? Should I be hiding my eyes? But I did look it up. She was 18, 19 when she shot this. And I think she was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
I can't remember, which is weird because he's in grade 5. But anyways, we'll get there. Squint fakes drowning to receive mouth-to-mouth resuscitation from lifeguard Wendy Peppercorn, with whom he has a crush. He kisses her and she kicks the boys out. But as they leave, Wendy waves at Squint with the warm smile. My 6-year-old fucking howled at this. I don't know why. She just thought it was funny.
Yeah, honestly, the kid who plays Squints is, well, he's not a kid anymore. His name is Chauncey Leopardi. God bless Chauncey, because my God, that kid in the pool with the glasses, wiping the glasses with his hands.
Oh yeah,
putting the glasses back on and just repeating over and oiling and rubbing and rubbing and oiling and
yeah,
and then he gets out of the pool and he's like shaking with like, I don't know, nervousness, anxiety, excitement, whatever it is, but he's like shaking, like he's tuned. You're like, oh my God, that kid's so worked up. And then he like just drops in the pool.
Yeah. And they're like, he can't swim.
They're just staring at him. What the fuck? And
he's
then
at
you
the
see
bottom.
Wendy jumps in, pulls him out. It's wonderful. It's exciting. Gives him CPR. That face he makes to his friends.
Yeah.
Right before
wink.
she goes back.
Yeah,
his eyes pop open. He smiles. He winks. He's like, "Oh yeah!" And then she goes in for mouth to mouth, and the hand comes up, and I was like, "I got."
He grabs her by the hair and just like,
yeah. And then she like loses her shit. valid, because some creepy kid just tried to drown himself so that he'd get her lips on him. Weird as fuck, but funny because
was funny.
The reason why it was funny was because of the lead up. It was
Yeah.
almost like the kid was possessed.
Yeah.
He had no control. He's like, he snapped and went and did it. And you're just like, I mean, I get it. And then all the kids were banned from the pool for the rest of their lives.
And I like Porter when he walked in. He's like, "Ladies, what's up? Hey, how you doing?"
Then Cannonball drops in, all over them. Which, if you are a girl at a pool, you hate that. Guys kind of laugh it off, and then they jump in the pool themselves, and you're like, "Bitch, I wasn't planning on getting my hair wet."
Yeah. The team plays a 4th of July night game by the light of fireworks, and Smalls observes that to Benny, baseball was life. This was cool being able to play at night.
Mm-hmm.
And the spread on the 4th of July. Where's this world gone? I gotta move to Middle America. Like walking out my front door to a buffet.
I'm sure there's nothing wrong with Middle America if you live there. Congratulations. I don't mind a block party, by all means. Let's have a block party. But did you know every single table had like either dry ass ribs or hot dogs?
Yeah.
I was like, can nobody get creative? Do you not have any family in the neighborhood that can cook real food? Like, is this it? You're just hot dogs and dry ass ribs? It's nice though. I like a block party. But I was like, why is what's his name? Smalls calling into the house when everybody else is on the street and being like, "Mom, I'm gonna go out." I was like, why is your mom not outside with everybody else?
Maybe she's getting more hot dogs.
And maybe she's getting her husband's hot dog.
Yeah. Maybe. Get out of here, Smalls. A lot of I remember some community events like when I was a kid because like I said I am from a smaller town and there was food. I don't think it was free. I think you paid for it, but I mean it was 80s and 90s, so it was very laughable. It did not cost a lot.
I grew up in Toronto, so there are literal festivals all throughout the summer, all over the city.
Yeah. When you live in those small towns, you don't get that.
Yeah,
unfortunately. They later play against a snooty rival Little League team and win. First, my 6-year-old laughed when Porter ends the insulting by telling them that they play like girls. She thought that was hilarious. But I do say that all the time. I have all girls. Yeah. All of them. And there's a lot of them. And I'll be like, you throw like a little girl. You hit like a girl. You play, insert name of video game here, like a girl. You cry like a girl. My wife gets so mad.
Valid.
But my 6-year-old loves it and laughs and repeats it. And let me tell you, you have not been smack talked till a 6-year-old girl comes up behind and passes you for the win in Mario Kart and then proceeds to tell you that you drive like a girl. Like, you little dick.
She's emulating what you're showing her.
Yeah, which is awesome. Love it.
I don't think she's put together like that she's a girl and saying someone plays something like a girl is an insult.
Well, see, she sees the other girls getting angry at her when she says it. And just that fact alone.
She's entertained by that.
Yeah, she's like, ha ha ha.
Which, I mean, she's just going to grow up to be a shit disturber, which I appreciate so much. Because those are the ones that change the world, the little shit disturber girls. But one day, it's going to come back at you and she's going to be like, oh my God, you throw like a boy.
Yeah.
Aren't you embarrassed?
I love Porter smack talking the batters.
Oh my God, so good.
Like, is that your sister in left field naked? And the other player's getting mad and Porter's like, whoa, just trying to have a conversation here.
His smack talk is classic. I actually made a note about that. I was like, this is some like amazing catcher smack talk. It's just enough to kind of get the batter like off their game and kind of riled up.
Yeah, because the batter calms down and then the next pitch and he goes, you think she'll date me?
Yeah.
He didn't let up, but it was no,
good. And it's so casual. So like you could tell there's no malice in his voice. He's just like, I mean, she looks good.
They later celebrate at a fair where a combination of chewing tobacco obtained by Bertram and riding the Trabant causes a huge sickly mess.
Yeah, for some reason in my head I thought it was called a tilt-a-whirl. God bless you. And all of the other
Thanks.
gods too. Uh,
I thought it was a tilt-a-whirl too.
yeah, so I was like, yeah, chewing tobacco in a tilt-a-whirl equals stupid and icky. Because wow, that vomit was gross.
Yeah, I had to explain the chewing tobacco to the kids, and because most were grossed out, not the 6-year-old, of course. Like she was just laughing, but it was gross. Like everyone's like,
It was.
gross, and she's like,
Although
look at all the
I
puke.
gotta give these child actors like props because their faces, they were making genuinely like sick
Yeah.
looking faces.
Yeah,
And I
you
was
can
like, oh,
tell
I
that
feel that.
because they're chewing away and they're swallowing,
Yeah.
and they're looking, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, and the amount of puke that just
It's fantastic. And then they come
yeah,
off the ride with puke on them, and you're just like, oh,
yeah,
it
and
looks sticky.
the guy doing he didn't even seem bothered by it. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Look,
Like
buddy,
what?
if you're running that ride, you ask any carny, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, puke doesn't even bother us anymore.
Yeah, just grab the hose,
Yeah.
pull the hose off, or take a seat. Ugh. I remember one time I was at going on a roller coaster, and it was a long, long line, and we went to get on, and someone was that peed. They peed. You could tell they peed on the
Yeah.
seat, and the guy's like, "Dude, get on!" And we're like, me and my cousin were like, "Nah, I don't think so, dude. I'm not sitting in that." And then he looked over and he saw, and yeah, he was just because he had to go get the paper towel. He had
Yeah.
to spray it. And,
That does get on your nerves where you're just like, fuck.
yeah. Well, that's part of the job. One day, Benny hits the cover off the team's only ball, much to the team's amazement, with Bill away on business for a week. I kind of read that weird. So he hits
the ball and he
Yes.
knocks the stuffing out of it.
Yeah, and Bill was away that week, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Progressive 60 Dad leaves him as man of the house.
Yeah, for a week to go away for a week on business.
Yeah, and no threats were given. Like when my parents left me alone with my brother, I was given strict instructions with very detailed punishments that would endure if said instructions were not carried out as stated.
The mom was still in the house though. Like
That's
she
true.
was still there.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to leave instructions other than you're the man of the house now. Which
Yeah.
by the way, what the fuck is a 5th grader going to do to be the man of the house? He going to fix the roof? No.
Yeah.
So fucking anyways. That always drives me nuts.
Yeah, no, I just knew that like there were many walls my stepfather would have put me through had I'd done something wrong.
Oh, I was terrified, not of my dad. My dad was not
Of
the
your
terrifying
mom?
one. My
Yeah.
mother was terrifying. Like she was, I always say this to people, and they're because my mom passed when I was 24, but I actually had the conversation with her once where I was like, you are a very intimidating person. Like you scare people. And she's like, why? I'm always polite. I was like, nobody said you were rude. You're terrifying. And
Yeah.
she's like, I don't know. Like my friends
Yeah, you
were
can be
terrified
polite
of
and
my mother.
terrified.
Oh God, yeah. So they were like, if anybody's going to threaten me with violence, it's your mom. And I was like, well, yeah, she hits hard. You try to avoid that.
Yeah, yeah. Smalls opts to keep the game going by borrowing his prized baseball autograph by Babe Ruth.
Okay.
By borrowing from Bill. Sorry.
From
I'll
Bill.
say that here.
The fact that this kid didn't know who Babe Ruth was.
Babe Ruth was, yeah.
I was not that into baseball. Obviously, I got into it a little bit more in 1992 because the Blue Jays were having a great season that year and that led to them winning the World Series. I knew who Babe Ruth was. He's a cultural icon.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little hard to...
That was a little hard because I'm like, everybody knew who Babe Ruth was. Everybody.
No, this kid would have had to be completely out of it to not know who Babe Ruth was. Okay, where were we? Okay, unaware of its value, he hits his first home run, sending it into the BC yard. When the team learns of the autograph, They quickly buy another baseball and forge Babe Ruth's signature on it to be a temporary replacement while they come up with a plan to rescue the autographed ball. This was actually very clever because I thought they were trying to replace it.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, it's just a placeholder until we can get. I was like, oh, yeah, for sure. And then I looked on the baseball when they put it up, and I was like, is that an E on the end of Ruth?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did they misspell that?
Yeah. The mom didn't notice.
Well, she was waxing poetic about who Babe Ruth was. I
Yeah.
was like, yo, even your mom knows who he is. Like,
Yeah.
come
What
on.
up, kid? Smalls suggests going to Mr. Myrtle for assistance, but Squints insists Mr. Myrtle will not help them. The team attempts to recover the lost ball with various makeshift devices, but each attempt is thwarted by the bees. Kids love this part. This was funny.
It was very funny, and it was so interesting to see the many options.
Yeah.
Like, it started with just a stick.
Yeah.
And then it just kept building and building and building and building. And I was like, God, this is awesome.
Yeah. They made the periscope.
Yeah.
The metal tracks from the boys' marble run and robotic shit, and the pot connected, the 3 vacuums.
The 3 vacuums was awesome. And then the catapult.
The catapult, yeah.
I was like, this is actually really ingenious. And it's nice to see. Like, just them being like having ingenuity. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard.
Trying different things, not just giving up. Yeah. As Small prepares to accept his fate, Benny dreams of the spirit of Babe Ruth, who advises him to rescue the ball himself. Heroes get remembered, says the Babe, but legends never die. Follow your heart, kid, and you'll never go wrong.
I love and hate this part at the same time.
Yeah, so the base goes to Babe Ruth, tells the kid to run into a backyard to basically get mauled by Cujo. Thanks, Babe.
I mean, it sounds like Babe Ruth. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Apparently he was a very, very nice man. But yeah, no, I have like, I kind of hated it because I was like, this seems so out of place.
A little
especially
bit, yeah.
because Babe Ruth like materializes out of his closet, starts in black and white pixelated. And I was like, this is odd. But I'm like, I kind of understand also because Benny is baseball obsessed and apparently really, really loves Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anybody's going to tell him to run into the backyard and get the ball, it's going to be Babe.
Okay, so equipped with a new pair of PF flyers, Benny retrieves the ball by pickling the beast and leaping back over the fence. But the dog breaks its chain and chases him through town. Again, 6-year-old thought this was hilarious. All of it.
Yeah. Knocking over garbage. Avoiding the cake.
Getting the ass bit by the dog.
Yes. All of it. Like, it's a great chase scene. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Like, Benny's hopping over things and running around things. The dog's right behind him. When they're going through that street festival, like jumping the Founders Day thing.
Yep.
Benny jumps over the cake. The dog goes under. The cake gets put on the table. The bakers relax. The guy on the stilts has been knocked over by the dog. He's wobbling, and then he falls over. Hits not even the big cake. Hits the table. Big cake goes flying. And somehow it breaks apart in the air.
Yeah.
And falls on the 2 bakers. It was like, I don't know what happened while that cake was in the air, but apparently it just fell apart, turned into bits.
Yeah, that was it. I noticed that. I mean, you could have just let the cake fall.
Let the big cake fall. Take off the cardboard backing to it so you don't end up like slamming that on someone's head.
Yeah.
But let the cake fall.
Yeah.
On the baker's heads. It's fine.
Benny races back to Mr. Myrtle's yard, and the beast crashes through the fence, and it falls down on top of the dog. Smalls and Benny free the dog, who gratefully licks Smalls' face and leads them to a stash of baseballs. The two meet Mr. Myrtle, who turns out to have been a baseball player and friendly rival of Babe Ruth, having lost his sight after being struck by a pitch. He kindly trades them with a chewed-up ball for one autograph by all the Murderers Row and asks them to visit every week to talk baseball. For those listening, Murderers Row was what they called the Yankees starting lineup and the first 6 at bat. Bill loves the Murderer's Row ball, but still grounds Smalls for a week for taking and ruining his autograph ball. The relationship improves, and Small begins to call him Dad. The boys continue to play on the Sandlot the rest of the summer, and several subsequent summers with the Beast, whose real name is Hercules, as their mascot. As the years pass, they eventually go their separate ways. Yaya enlists in the army and later develops bungee jumping. Bertram disappears into the counterculture movement. He was a hippie. Timmy and Tommy become wealthy upon inventing mini malls. Squints marries Wendy, has 9 kids with her, and the two run the local drugstore. Ham becomes a professional wrestler, the Great Hambino. De Nunez plays AAA baseball, but later owns a business and coaches his son's Little League team, the Heaters. And Benny earns the nickname the Jet after word spread around about his encounter with the Beast. As an adult, Smalls becomes a sports commentator and remains friends with Benny, now a player for the Los Angeles Dodgers, performing the play-by-play for the Dodgers game. Small cheers Benny on as he steals home to win the game, and they give each other the same thumbs-up sign they have shared since childhood. In Small's dugout, he owns and keeps on display the chewed-up Babe Ruth autograph ball, the Murderer's Row ball, the forged Babe Ruth ball, and some Bill's pictures of Babe Ruth, and a large picture of the Sandlot Kids from 1962. And that is our movie.
Yes.
I didn't know it was all 3 balls. I didn't know. I noticed the 2.
Yeah.
I didn't really. I didn't know.
I noticed all 3. I was like, look at that. All it took was you stealing a prized possession that your stepfather's mother gave to him and destroying it and you giving him a arguably more valued baseball before he was willing to have a relationship with you. That's nice. That's real nice. The dad's a dick and the mom's a dick too. But I love the kids in this.
So, what is your score?
My score is a rent it. And here's why. I think this is a movie that's great for a one-time viewing. I don't know if this is quite possibly a classic for the ages. I do think it is a good movie. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very nostalgic. And not just for those who grew up in the 60s, but if you grew up in the 80s and even the early 90s, before the internet, before streaming, before all of that. I don't know if this will hit with Gen Z, really, like hardcore, but it is very, very nostalgic, and it kind of reminds you of your childhood if you grew up anywhere from like the 60s to the probably mid 90s. If you grew up during that time, everything that the kids are doing is very similar to what you did.
Right.
So you have that kind of warm, familiar feeling. And it's fun to watch a group of friends have fun for the summer. I just didn't think it was great. Like, it wasn't something I would want to buy and put on my shelf and bring out once a year.
Right.
But I did enjoy watching it. And I did think there were a lot of very funny moments in it. There were some kind of gross moments, i.e. the puke or the dog slobber. Oh, God.
Yeah, there's a lot of slobber.
They went to town on that, and it's gross. But I do think it's a very enjoyable movie, and I think it's something that families can enjoy, and even older, like adults who want to kind of watch something a little reminiscent of their childhood, they'll enjoy it. I think kids will enjoy the fun, kind of goofy stuff, the smack talk, the running through the streets. You know, I think there's a lot for people to like in it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's super great. So I don't think I'd want to watch it more times than necessary. So a rent.
All right, so you say rent it. All right, my score. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It looked and sometimes felt like straight to video. Those of us or you who remember going to Blockbuster will know what I mean. It wasn't bad. It just looked sometimes low budget, which is fine. The Sandlot is not a perfect movie, but if you grew up with this film, it obviously has a special place in your heart. It's still all here, and while fun to watch, I feel this would not be as much fun had I not watched it with my kids, and that is part of the fun and magic of these movies. But in reality, I don't think I would have enjoyed it half as much had I watched it alone. I remember liking this movie, but it was not a childhood favorite for me, so I don't have that connection with it. And those of you that do remember it as a childhood favorite probably already own it. But if you do remember liking it and have not seen it in some time, this is a great movie to watch with kids on movie night. Rent it. The kids will find it funny, girls or boys. It's silly and heartfelt for all the right reasons. If you don't have kids, I'd wait for a stream, maybe Disney Plus. Without your inner child having already seen it 100 times, or new kids discovering the silliness with you, this movie might have a little too much cotton candy to go at it alone. So I say rent it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth a rent. Like you said, I'm not going to put it on a shelf. I'm not going to put it in my Amazon movies or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not buying this to keep it, and I'm not rewatching it a lot of time. However, I
did enjoy
it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching with my kids. It was a good time. Yeah,
and I think it was very nostalgic, and it gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling, and you feel really. Mind you, I also have that feeling about most sports movies.
Yeah,
like I teared up at the end of this. Even though Benny's character had a very offensive mustache, I was like, I still teared up because I was like, that's fucking beautiful. Friends in sports, he's a pro.
Yeah.
I'm ridiculous. It's fine.
All right, that was 2 Rent It. So for the podcast, I'll do that at the end. I'm trying to think ahead for editing. But whatever. We are now, I'm going to bring it up. We are now going to go to our second feature of our double feature drive-in special, The River Wilds.
Congratulations. You just had one of your childhood movie memories vindicated. Or they just eviscerated it. I don't know. This is a generic one-size-fits-all type of ending to the podcast. So thank you for listening, and please join Anna and Jimmy next time for another episode of the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. If you dare to go back and watch that movie you remember liking,